Hi, I'm Nisha DeGaring, host of Good Things Utah, and I've been a longtime supporter of Todd's Belief Cast. I hope you find inspiration in the courageous stories shared by the amazing people Todd features on his show. The guests serve as shoulders for us to stand on, allowing us to see a little further and cultivate belief in oneself. Remember, you have the dignity and power to change. I encourage you to keep striving and believing in yourself. Enjoy today's podcast.
I want to take a moment to express my heartfelt gratitude to the incredible sponsors of the BeliefCast podcast. First, Craig from Craig Swap & Associates. If you need an attorney, he's your guy. Trustworthy, compassionate, always there when you need him most. Next, Wasatch Recovery, the greatest university on the planet, transforming lives one day at a time. Sandy from Minky Couture, the creative genius behind the most comfortable blanket you'll ever wrap yourself in. Comfort like no other. The visionaries behind Thread wallets. These wallets redefine style and functionality. Dave Philippi from Micro Plus, pushing the boundaries of nanotechnology and scientific research to bring us cutting-edge supplements for optimal health. The Ralphs and the Debenhams, creators of Mori Nutrition and Calm. Because if you're struggling with sleep, feeling stressed, or can't focus, Calm is your answer. Special thanks to the award-winning pianist Paul Cardall for his beautiful music that brings inspiration to every episode. And finally, Gab Wireless, letting kids be kids and giving parents the peace of mind they deserve. Right now, Gab is offering $25 off any device to new customers with no contract required. That's $25 off any Gab smartphone or smartwatch. Just go to gab.com/belief. That's where you'll get the best deal. That's gabb.com/belief. Thank you to all these amazing sponsors for supporting the BeliefCast podcast and empowering us to continue spreading positivity and inspiration to the world. Welcome back, everybody. This is Todd Sylvester with the Todd Inspires BeliefCast. And I know I always say this, but I'm so grateful for all of you. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks again to my sponsors for believing in me and making this all possible. And more thanks to all my, previous guests. You guys are amazing. I bring amazing people on with amazing stories. Today's going to be no different. Today we are joined with Charlee Sorensen. Charlee, thanks for being here.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
I know. This is really cool. I've heard a lot about you for a long time from your mom and your sister.
Yes.
They both have been on the podcast. Your sister's been on a few times.
Yes.
I met your sister at Good Things Utah. Mm-hmm. I've been a guest there for the last several years, right. And she was working there and then also became one of the hosts eventually, and she's amazing and
she's fantastic.
Yeah, isn't she great?
She's a great sister.
Right? Yeah. And
yes.
So, and then that's how I started to get to know a little bit about you, because she was always saying, "Oh man, you should see what my sister's doing. She's amazing, opera singer, Miss Utah, all that stuff, and just amazing things that you do." And so I reached out to you and I thought, you know what? Hopefully she'll say yes. And here we are.
Of course. I'm so happy to be here. I'm excited to chat.
So a little background on Charlee real quick. She is currently at Utah Valley University pursuing a BA in vocal performance. She's Miss Utah Teen in 2020. And then you placed in the top 10 in Miss America Teen. Mm-hmm. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Wow. And then you have a passion, obviously, for leadership, service, and empowering future leaders. Mm-hmm. You also spent some time in Sicily, Italy, right? Studying opera at the Mediterranean Opera Studio Festival. We want to talk more about that.
Absolutely.
And you just love performing. Mm-hmm. You love the stage.
Absolutely.
That takes a lot of guts and a lot of courage and confidence and so on and so forth. And we're going to get into all that. Tell us a little bit about growing up. You're from a small town.
Yes.
Tell us about that, and tell us about some of your childhood experiences.
Yeah, I am from the small town of Aurora, Utah. I'm a small town girl turned opera singer. It's not a pipeline that you hear very often, but that's what I ended up doing and what I'm pursuing right now. Aurora, Utah, for those of you who might not know where that is, it's near Richfield, Utah, which is where I ended up going to middle school and high school. I grew up there. I was lucky to have really awesome, supportive parents who really helped all of me and all my siblings. I have 2 older siblings. I'm the youngest of 3. They really helped us to find all of our individual passions and pursue them, which is really awesome. I feel really privileged that they sacrificed so much and worked so hard to make sure that we all had opportunities to find our passions and pursue whatever we loved. And so that's, I think, why I am where I am today.
Right.
Is because I had this little niche and this love for the performing arts, and they rather than, I know a lot of parents would probably say, let's think about something that might be a little bit more practical.
Hey, you want to play soccer?
Yeah. And I sure did play softball for a year, and I always tell people that I always did the splits onto the base because I couldn't figure out how to slide.
Right.
I just never really figured out the rules of the game, and I was just twiddling my thumbs out in the outfield with my bows in my hair, and that was me playing softball for 1 year.
Right.
So that definitely was not for me, but that's okay. We tried everything.
Yeah. You got to try to see if you like it or not. Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I settled on the performing arts, and when I was 16, I began studying opera. Wow. And just fell in love with it.
Wow. And I mean, talking to someone that has no clue about any of this stuff, the performing arts and stuff, meaning no talent in that area, opera seems very difficult. Mm-hmm. Like probably the hardest thing to go into in when it comes to music.
Absolutely.
And singing and vocals, right? Is that accurate?
That's a very accurate description. I think every style of singing has tricky things that come with it. The trickiest thing about opera is that it is an exercise in patience, and that's something that I've had to develop. My teacher told me up front when I was 16, it's going to take about 7 years until you're really mastering this. Wow. And I was like, bring it on. But little did I know that it is an excruciating experience trying to master all of these technological things, these technical things that make the operatic sound. Right. And now I guess I'm about 4 years into that, 4 or 5 years. And I'm definitely a lot better than I was when I first started out having a background in singing. You're amazing.
I've watched a few of your videos. I'm like, wow. Like, and again, I know there's always room for improvement and stuff, but I wouldn't, someone from my perspective would be like, you are the master at it because it's that good.
Thank you. Definitely. It's my dream to be a world-class opera singer. So it's really encouraging when people think that I sound really good. That's very encouraging to me.
So did you know that when you were really young, like you wanted to be a singer, like even when you were, a little girl?
Absolutely not. I've had many passions throughout growing up, and even now, even if this whole career in singing and being a traveling professional opera singer doesn't pan out for me, because realistically it doesn't pan out for many people. It's like in anything in the performing arts field, you have to be in the right place in the right time. But luckily for me, I have a lot of things that I love and am passionate about. Something that I would still love to pursue and maybe perhaps go back to school for later on in life, as I want to perhaps be a therapist. Oh, yes. Nice. I love things like that. I love people. And growing up, I was always a very sensitive kid. My parents will always tell the story of how they would drop me off to school and I would hug the crosswalk lady just because I just appreciated her so much for standing there and helping the kids cross the crosswalk. Yeah. And I've just always been a very tender-hearted kid, and I love people. At times that was really tricky to navigate growing up, because it's good to have a tender heart, but sometimes my dad would always say life isn't always t-ball. Sometimes you got to step up and play baseball, right? You got to learn to stand up for yourself and be assertive. So I was pretty easy to walk over in school, and so I definitely experienced some unkindness, some bullying, as a lot of us do, sadly. And so I had to learn how to stand up for myself, and that was a journey.
Yeah, how to talk a little bit more about that, because I think that's interesting, because I think, obviously we say, hey, be kind, that's the thing to do, but your dad's right in the sense that there's times where we have to actually put our foot down, set a boundary, be assertive, as you mentioned. Yes. Can you talk a little bit about how you navigated that?
Totally. This sounds so cheesy, but participating in pageantry was a part of that.
Really?
Yes. So we all have, and now they're called community service initiatives. As different people have bought the Miss America organization, these names have, at one point it was a social impact initiative platform. It's been so many things, but right now it's a community service initiative. And I developed one called the Upstander Revolution. It's inspired by an initiative that already exists, but I made it more applicable for me and my story, and for inspiring. Hopefully I inspired a lot of kids that I was able to work with across the state of Utah throughout my service as Miss Utah's teen, and before that when I was still giving presentations on this throughout my community. But I remember one day just being tired of feeling silenced or feeling as though I didn't have a voice, and the people in my life, like my dad, who told me you gotta step up and play the game, really empowered me and emboldened me to stand up for myself in those social situations, and for other people as well, in situations that I believed were unethical or unkind. And I wanted to in turn inspire other people to do that. And those were some of the most enriching years of my life, going and giving presentations on the Upstand Revolution across the state of Utah, and teaching people about their personal power, and that we, with like one word or one sentence or just one moment of just power, can change the story, can change the narrative in any situation. So,
I say this a lot on my podcasts, and I know people maybe sometimes roll their eyes because I say it so much, but like, I really believe that life happens for us.
Absolutely.
And just listening to what you just said there, like, think of the passion you have to do that. Probably wouldn't have been there had you not been pushed around a little bit and taken advantage of and bullied and that kind of thing. Would you agree?
I totally agree. I really believe in owning your story rather than kind of resenting it, because we've all been through, I mean, there's people who have really incredibly difficult stories that I can't even fathom, but I think that we all go through things to grow and to learn something. So I absolutely agree, and I think that that's absolutely what my story and what my experience has done for me, and I'm super grateful for the things that I've learned.
I think that makes perfect sense. Just listening to what you're saying. The other thing that stands out, again, you're a very confident person. You have to be if you're going to go on stage and sing opera of all things. Were you that way, or is that something you had to grow into and put yourself out there to gain that confidence? Like, talk about that transition, because that had to have been scary in the beginning.
I know a lot of people who are in the performing arts say this, but the stage sometimes feels like more of a home than the rest of anywhere else, right? That makes sense, And so I've always just felt very comfortable on the stage, and I love stories. And that's what the performing arts are all about, is it's telling stories that connect us through the human experience. And that's what drew me to opera, is that these stories they were written like in the 18th century. But they're still applicable and moving today, and it connects us with people from so long ago. So that's a side tangent about why I love opera and the arts.
Okay, no, that's good to know.
But confidence definitely did not always come naturally to me off of the stage. I really struggled socially growing up and understanding social cues, as many of us do, and have to kind of struggle through that to understand and cope with the world around us. But it took me a long time to feel confident. And if I'm honest, I don't think I really truly felt like myself off of the stage or as though I was being authentic until I was probably about like 1 or 2 years ago, when I was 19 or 20, and I'm 21 now. And so, and then I was like, I feel like I'm navigating the world in a way that's authentic to me. And I'm not trying to feign any personality. Especially as the youngest child, I feel like we learn imitatively from the people around us, and I just don't think I ever felt truly comfortable just being. I always felt as though I had to, like, life was a stage, but now I know that the stage and life and human interactions are two completely different places, and I can just be. My wonderful boyfriend Nate has been a huge part of that, helping me just kind of be and the people around me in college, and kind of creating a new life for myself far away from home has been really helpful.
Man, that's very profound, especially for someone so young, and to learn that lesson or learning it as you're going, right?
Right.
Talk about that for a minute, though, just being, because one of the best definitions of abundance is being.
Right.
Not having, but being. Talk about that, and how have you, I guess, learned that, or at least practiced, you're practicing that. Talk about that, because I think most of us listening to this struggle with that. We always think, I'll be happy when, I'll be happy if.
Totally.
And so I think that's, anyone listening to this is probably going, I struggle with that.
Yes.
Love to hear your thoughts on that.
Absolutely. Man, that's a big one.
It's a big question. I know.
I love it. I love that question. So, as you mentioned, I was Miss Utah's teen, and I actually won that right before COVID hit. And so because of that, I served for 2 years because I had to compete at Miss America's team before giving away the title. So there was a few of us. I remember it was like me in Alabama and a couple other girls on this group chat for a year until all the other girls started getting crowned, and then we got ready to go compete at Miss America's team. So that was funny. It was just us 5 for a year, like waiting for all the other states to get crowned and for us to go compete at Miss America. But so I served in that position for 2 years, and that in turn became a huge part of my identity, and that and singing. And I think that as a high performer, or as all of us, we want to be high performers, right? We want to do a lot of things in our lives and be good at something. I really began to identify with those things, singer and Miss Utah's teen. And then when those things were gone, when I gave that crown away, that was another part of grappling with, who am I? And without these things. And so I picked up a book by Demi Tebow, if you've heard of her, or Tim Tebow is her husband. He's a football player. I know nothing about football, but I know that he's a football player. And she was Miss South Africa. And she then went on to win Miss Universe, which is a huge title, right? Absolutely massive opportunity. And she wrote this book called A Crown That Lasts. And it was about finding your identity in being a daughter or a child of God. And for me, my faith has always been a huge part of who I am and my story. And remembering that all of these things are temporary, but just being a child of God, just knowing that I can just exist with that title, and that's enough. That's enough for him. And that has been a huge part of me just learning to have abundance and knowing and being grateful for the small things, while being a high achiever, right? And having these goals, but I can also just be Charlee. And that's the most interesting about me, not being an opera singer, not, being a former Miss Utah's teen, or now currently, as of a week ago, Miss Provo. But instead, the crown that lasts is being a child of God.
Wow. That's great insight. I'm going to give you even a tougher question, I think. So knowing who you are, and you're having a better understanding of that, and I love that you're a child of God. It's powerful. I think it was Dallin H. Oaks that said, knowing that you're a child of God is the most potent antidepressant on the planet.
Absolutely.
So, but what does that mean? So, like, who are you? If someone came up to you on the, they're interviewing you off stage and they put a mic in your face, who are you? And yes, you would say, I'm a child of God, but what else? Like, what does that mean?
To me, that means that I have infinite worth. And that nothing that I do or have gone through on this earth is permanent because of the atonement of Jesus Christ. And I think that to me is the most significant part of being a child of God, or having knowledge or belief or faith in Jesus Christ, is that we can always bounce back. And for me, and I know with people like you who have had your story and have overcome so many difficult things in life, that is such a significant message, knowing that we can always bounce back because of the atonement of Jesus Christ. So being a child of God, if somebody asked me who I am, I would say I'm a child of God, and I am of infinite worth. And I am an overcomer because of that, like he was. Yeah.
I'm an overcomer.
I'm an overcomer. I
love that.
overcome things.
Dang, I like that. Very well answered.
Thank you.
You know, I would add, I think too, if we think of the characteristics of God, and even if anyone listening to this doesn't believe in a God,
Right.
even if you were to hope there was a higher power, what characteristics would you think or want in a higher power? And they typically, and I ask this question to my clients all the time, and it's usually love, understanding, confident, brave, tenacious, you know, light, energy, compassion, sympathy, the list goes on, right?
Right.
That's who we are. Like those characteristics describe you, and they describe God, they describe your higher power, whatever you believe.
Right.
I mean, that, and then you
That's
throw
beautiful.
in, I'm an overcomer. I've never heard that. That's powerful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I would agree. One for me is empathy. I believe that we have a very empathetic God. And
Yeah.
I think that we would all want a very empathetic God who understands us and understands where we are in life. And we know that he'll meet us there and help us. And I just love that. I think that's incredibly significant. We are attributes, not the things that we do.
Yeah, I love that. And I don't say this lightly, because I really believe like you giving that hug to that crosswalk worker, you know, you're just a kid, you're doing your thing, and you're very caring, but you don't know what that did for, was it a female or a male?
Yeah.
You don't know what it did for her. Like that might've been the one thing that kept her around, honestly. Like, have you ever thought of that? Like that profound hug, like it chokes me up to even think about it. Like it's those things. See, and that was a God moment for you as a child, and it was a God moment for this woman, even if she didn't connected those dots.
Right.
Because I believe, and I know you do too, God is love. And when we express and give away love, it's a God moment.
If you love me, you love one another. And that's always stuck
But that
to
hug,
me.
you don't know, like, what if she was having the worst week of her life, all these bad things were happening, and that hug, she just said, I want to be around because of Charlee in that hug. I don't know, have you ever contemplated that?
I've never contemplated that, but now I'm getting choked up too.
It just hit me. It just hit me. Yeah.
Because I believe in the significance of our words or actions. I mean, we've seen so many examples throughout the world of just one kind act changing somebody's life, right, for the better, or giving them the motivation to do another day, right, or just do the next hour. And I believe that it's these moments of kindness or Christ-like actions that keep the world going, that keep people motivated and to continue doing good. Yeah,
because think about the times when someone's done a kind act to you or I, you know, like what that does to us in the moment. It's like, oh my gosh, it's great to be around. It's great to be alive. Thank you for that. I needed that. It was like, that's why we need more of that, right?
Right.
So because of that, and because that you're so caring and empathetic and love and light and energy and, you know, all these great things that you are, you have dedicated, or at least up to this point, you want to serve your community. You want to, so what does that look like for you? Like in the grand scheme of things, like what does that mean to you, serving in the community?
Oh, there's so many ways to serve the community, and I've seen them throughout my service as Miss Utah's teen, even just in 1 week of being Miss Provo. Last night I had the opportunity to go to a really awesome event put on by The Refuge, which is a place that gives resources and help to women who are going through situations of domestic violence or sexual abuse.
Yeah, I've heard of The Refuge.
Right,
yes, they're a great organization.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I got to go to an event that they put on and learning about the different resources that are out there and seeing these people who are so passionate about these causes. They found their fire. They found the thing that gets them out of bed and that they want to teach other people about. And that to me is what service and community service throughout the rest of my life will be. It is finding the things that right now I'm passionate about and I want to help educate people about, or that I want to just generally serve in some capacity and pursuing that. I believe that we all need something that we are pursuing that is outside of ourselves, right? Sometimes we need to get outside of our heads and outside of ourselves and serve other people. And so for me, it's just taking that, doing the next right thing, taking the next step to help somebody every single day.
Yeah. I'm going to say something again that I say a lot. So listeners, just bear with me, but this is so profound. But I want to hear what you think of this, because it's really what I think I heard you just say. So I was doing a group therapy session with my clients, and to start off the group, I had everyone just stand up and just, hey, what's on your heart right now? Just share something. And this guy gets up and shares this, and it was so impactful for me. I put it to my memory, and here's what he said. I tried to find myself I could not see. I tried to find my God eluded me. I tried to find my brother, I found all three.
Wow.
Yeah. What do you think of that?
To me, that speaks to that God is supposed to be our friend, our companion, right? I think at times that he feels so far away, and even in culture, sometimes he feels just so distant or something that's unreachable, but he is a friend that we can reach out to at any time. Yeah. Which I find is beautiful. They called him a brother, a friend, somebody who is always there for us and loves us. He's not so far away. Yeah. Right. And he wants to serve us every single day.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. And I just think when we serve in the community, we serve a friend, just a stranger even, in that moment when we do that, we find ourselves, we find God, and we just found our brother. Again, going back to the hug of the crosswalk lady, you hugged this lady in that moment. You found yourself, you found God, and you found her. Right?
Absolutely.
What do you think of that?
That's
sorry to be so deep.
No,
right?
I love that. Yeah. Everybody in my life knows that nothing is ever surface level with me. If we're having a conversation, it's gonna get deep, and I love that. Yeah, that's profound to me.
Like, I didn't think this is where we were going today, and you really do bring that out. I see that. You're very, I don't know how to explain it. This is really cool.
I love to think about the deeper meaning behind things, and that's gonna stick with me too. Is you never know what your acts of kindnesses do for yourself and others. Right. It benefits all parties involved, and these small acts of kindness make all the difference. I mean, I know that I've experienced that. Yeah. I had a friend when I was growing up. Her name was Alexa, and she was Miss Nebo when I was Miss Nebo's teen. And when I was experiencing those tricky things about growing up, and I was experiencing some unkindness and bullying at school, and some confusion about who I was and who I was becoming, and all those things, this wonderful girl named Alexa, who really took seriously being a mentor to me, just told me it gets better. And I've experienced the same thing, and I'm now on the other side of things. And if I can do it, so can you. Right. And
it's great advice.
Totally. Right. Totally. And these just being there for other people, and these small acts of kindness make all the difference. And now that I'm kind of in her shoes, that's what I'm striving to do as Miss Provo, and as most importantly just Charlee Sorensen, a child of God, is give people the kindness that they need every day. Yeah. That I once needed, right? And that we all need.
Yeah, I love that. Very powerful, great message. We could end now, but we're not going to, because there's a lot more to talk about.
Totally.
You spent some time in Sicily.
Yes.
Talk about that experience. What did you learn? What were the takeaways, the lessons? Not just around what you're studying, but maybe like even personally, what did you take away from that experience?
Oh, so much. That was some of the most enriching 2 months of my life. So I spent 2 months in Sicily, Italy, at the Mediterranean Opera Studio / Festival, studying with industry professionals. And there was about, I believe, 30 singers there from all over the world. So as a girl who grew up in small town rural Utah, and at that point I had just graduated high school. Okay. So I was like a month out of graduating high school. Dang. Yeah. So I was 18 years old, just a baby, had rarely ever left Utah, and I was about to go to Sicily, Italy, and spend time with people from all walks of life. Wow. All, like, there was some singers who were older, some who actually I believe that I was the youngest. And then the rest were all college age singers. And so there was so many walks of life in one place, but we all loved music, and we all loved opera. And we were there to study opera and to hone our skills. And what was most significant to me was how everybody was in such a growth mindset. I know if anybody's in school right now, they're like, growth mindset, like versus fixed mindset.
Here we go.
Here we go again.
1,000 times.
Yeah, here we go again with that growth mindset. But I guess to put it in different terms is they were striving for growth, right? Or they wanted the advice to hopefully foster success in their future. And for me, when my teacher brought up the prospect of going to Sicily, Italy, I was just jazzed. I was like, he believes in me. He thinks that I can do this at the ripe age of 18 years old, which is so young.
It really is, yeah.
Totally. And I was just honored for this opportunity. So I took in every bit of knowledge like a sponge. It was a lot to take in a foreign place with a new language. I worked really hard on the language while I was there, and I got pretty okay at the basics. I've lost a bit in the following years, but I've been wanting to study Italian again.
Wow.
But just learning, a piece of advice that I got from a teacher before going was, I want you to just go there, take it all in, take in the sights, and ask yourself, can you see God in everything here too? And I was really confused on that, and I think that's like a different question for everybody. Yeah. But I definitely remember standing in the streets of Catagidone is the town that we were in. I remember standing in the streets and asking myself, is God real here too? Do I still feel that? And the answer for me was, he's real everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I know the missionaries learn this, but leaving and just feeling that spirit everywhere that you go and in different cultures and is so significant. And so I learned that. I learned a plethora of wisdom surrounding music and the industry. Yeah. And it was an incredibly significant time for me.
Yeah. How was the food?
Oh, incredible. Don't even get me started.
My family just got back from there. Yeah, my family went there and they're like, the food was amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love how everything's so fresh. Going to the market there is like nothing I'd ever experienced before. And just seeing the way that they value food, community, and family changed me. Yeah. Forever. Everybody knows that the Italians are very big on food and family. Oh, yeah. And they gather around the dinner table, and dinner is an all-night ordeal. They always go to bed around 12 or 1. Really? And they have a riposo every day, which is just a national nap time because they stay up so late. Oh. So everything. I could
use one of those.
Yes, me too. So everything closes down. If you try and go to a restaurant between the hours of like 1 and 3, it's going to be closed. It's closed because everybody's taking a nap. So because awesome. They stay up all night eating wonderful fresh food. Yeah. So I definitely learned the value of community and family, and that's why they're so healthy and live so long in places like there. And in Greece, is family and food are their top priorities, and they never miss family or food.
Wow, that sounds like a neat experience.
Totally.
Yeah. So you've achieved a lot already in your life at such a young age. Has that been overwhelming?
At times, yeah. Yeah, but also as a high achiever, I'm like, I haven't done enough.
Yeah, I got to keep going.
Yes, I got to keep going. But that's why it's been significant for me to just learn to be still and just be sometimes, because I don't always need to be going or achieving to be enough, right? And that's been a hard lesson for me to learn amongst being a high achiever, to know that this isn't who I am. Yeah. This isn't my identity, but I found a lot of meaning and fulfillment in the things that I've done in my life thus far, and I'm grateful for them because they're motivating me to continue to serve throughout the rest of my life in whatever capacity that means, whether that's calling within church or traveling around the world as an opera singer. I'll have the opportunity to touch a lot of lives from all over. Yeah. So sorry.
That's all right.
We got that phone going off.
No one can hear it.
Oh, perfect. That's good.
They're like, where are you?
Yes. Where are you?
We need to take some pictures.
Why are you at Wasatch Recovery?
Yeah, right. Is everything okay?
Yes, I'm okay.
Yeah, everything's fine.
I'll be back to school. But yes, it's been fun to learn what I've learned.
Yeah. Well, again, going back to that being, how therapeutic that is, especially in the moments when you've got a lot going on in your life. Because again, I mean, I can only imagine a lot of people, at least in especially, congratulations on what you just won.
Thank
too.
you.
Miss Provo, is what is that?
Yes.
Congratulations on
Thank
that.
you.
But a lot of people want your attention and time, and they want to take pictures. They want to interview you. They want, that just, I would imagine sometimes you're just like, whoa, I need to just have some space for a minute.
Right.
Right.
I was experiencing really high stress levels at the beginning of college. That just reminded me. And I think that comes from having experienced a lot, and a lot of people wanting your 100%, right?
Yeah.
Everything that I'm involved in, whether that's opera or Miss Provo, or there's a few things that I do to serve on the side. I have a partnership with Slate Canyon in Provo, and I go once a week, and I mentor the kids at the Juvenile Justice Center in DSI.
Wow.
And so, everything that you do wants 100% of you.
Yeah, right.
And I especially learned that in college when I was like, I'm here in this wonderful new place, and I'm going to do everything. Right. Yeah. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And I soon realized you cannot do everything. I was trying to mentor kids from the Congo and their English that were at UVU. I was trying to do everything. And I soon realized you can't do and be everything.
Yeah.
And I was experiencing really high levels of cortisol, really high levels of stress. And so I made the decision to start going to therapy.
Okay.
Yeah. And for any listeners, if you're struggling with anything in your life or in your past, I highly recommend therapy, and for any reason that you're curious about. If you're curious about anything about yourself and you want answers, or perhaps just some insight, I couldn't recommend therapy more.
Yeah, right.
So for wherever you're at in your life, but that has been a significant part of my journey is since my freshman year, and I'm now in my junior year of college. I've been working really hard and going monthly to therapy to understand myself and work on, and I still experience high levels of stress, but now I'm able to cope better. Yeah. Right. My therapist and I call it pre-coping, coping ahead of time. Yeah. Right. Kind of breathing and
catch it before.
Yes. 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 My anxious tendencies. I need to be pre-prepared for the stress that I may experience.
Yeah. Right.
But, that's been a significant part of my story.
Yeah. Good for you. Thanks for sharing that. That's a vulnerable thing to share. So thank you.
Of course.
Is that kind of one of the reasons why you want to maybe be a therapist?
Totally.
Is what you're seeing there and how it's helped you, and you're like, man, I'd love to help people in that capacity.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's a huge part of it. I think that, as I've said, I've had a tendency in my life to have great people help me in very significant ways, and I just want to pay it back. Yeah. And so that's probably a huge part of it. And as an empathetic person, I feel like it would work really well for me. Most people within the arts are empathetic people as well, because we can't tell these stories without kind of stepping into these shoes. Yeah. And so I think that empathy has been incredibly significant.
Yeah, for sure.
Throughout my life.
Yeah, you'd be great at it, honestly. I want to. This is a good time to share this quote. I wanted to share this quote. It's out of the Bhagavad Gita. Ooh. And tell me what you think of this. Okay. Okay. For the one who has conquered the mind is the best of friends. But for the one who has failed to do so, the mind will be his greatest enemy. What do you think of that?
Well, it makes me think of something that I heard in one of your episodes, and you said that at times you were your own greatest, correct me if I'm wrong, your own greatest enemy or your perception of yourself. Yes. And I totally feel that. I think that for as long as I remember, I was stuck in these patterns and that I didn't understand. And it was when I understood them through the work that I did in therapy and reflection and looking back on different scenarios in my life, when I kind of mastered or understood those, that I broke those patterns. So that's what that means to me. It's breaking those patterns that we get stuck in. Yep. Through understanding.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you're right. I just love that, because I think it really came down to that for me. Is my struggle wasn't necessarily drugs and alcohol. That was how I was coping. Right. With the issue was my own thinking. Mm-hmm. Because that's why I was so touched when you said about being. Because when we're just in the moment. Mm-hmm. We're typically not thinking ahead. We're not thinking behind. Right. We're just here. We're just focused on the now. And I notice when I do that, I don't suffer. Mm-hmm. It's my thoughts typically that are causing me to suffer. Right?
Totally.
Yeah. So, I think, what I've learned, doing what I do and helping people in that capacity is helping them learn to control their thinking. And more specifically what you said earlier about being, right?
Yeah.
So you're an example to a lot of people. You really are. And probably a lot of young girls too that just want to maybe, Charlee's so amazing, I want to be her. What advice would you give maybe a young girl who is struggling right now with confidence, trying to find their way? They're just trying to navigate junior high and high school.
Been there.
Right?
Just the most awkward time, and it's unavoidable. It's going to be it's going to be a little shaky while you're figuring yourself and life out. I felt the same way about my sister Savvy, who's been on this podcast. I've always, would the word be pedestalized? I've put her on a pedestal.
She's the person you're trying to be.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. I've always looked up to her so much. I mean, she is beautiful and talented, but more importantly, she has a great testimony and she's a great person.
Yeah.
And I've always looked up to her so much, but I spent a lot of my life trying to be Savvy, and that's a wonderful thing. But everything changed for me when I started trying to just be Charlee.
Yeah.
And a lot of young girls have find role models, sometimes in not great places, sometimes in good places, and they're just like, oh, I just want to be her. I think my advice to them is find yourself. Find your fire.
Yeah.
Find what sets you apart.
Okay.
And embrace that. Because that's what makes you unique. That's what's going to make you the person that some little girl or some young girl out there is looking at saying, oh, I just want to be her. Yeah. Because for me, it was choosing opera. That was quite unconventional. And after winning Miss Provo, after winning Miss Provo, one of the other candidates came up to me and she just said, my sister was like, oh, I want to be an opera singer now.
Wow.
And I think that's so cool, that what makes me kind of a little funny, a little unique, right? You don't hear many 16-year-olds who just one day are like, I want to take on this really difficult art of opera where I have to learn 3 languages, become a musician. And not only that, I have to learn this whole new technique for 7 years. And then one day I'll be traveling all over the world doing this crazy thing. Right. But that's what's made me unique. And I think that's the reason why I am where I am. Yeah. So I want them all to just embrace what makes them unique and find peace with who they are. Because when I found peace and I wasn't trying to be or look like or do things like Savvy or whoever else was when I found peace and happiness within myself.
Wow. Yeah, very profound. Thanks for sharing that. That's wow. Did you listen to that, everybody? That was powerful.
Thank you.
Powerful stuff. I would imagine with kids nowadays, you it's tough to find yourself if they're stuck. It's tough, period. But if they're on their phone and social media, how do you view that and how do you navigate that world?
And that was something that came to mind earlier, that, you said like you had your coping mechanisms. Yeah. We all have our coping mechanisms. And I think that, oh no, you're totally fine. I think that a way that, a lot of young kids kind of cope with the world around them right now is leaning into their devices, right? Or their phones, or a world that they can escape to. So a recent journaling prompt that I've been doing is, what am I avoiding? Because that's good. When I find myself when there's a lot of things that I'm stressed about or that I'm avoiding, just doom scrolling, as we call it, on my phone, right? Just all the reels until I'm like, what am I doing? Yeah.
My brain hurts.
Right, my brain hurts. And so then I'll pull out journal. Journaling is the best thing that I think anybody can do for themselves as far as self-reflection and getting out of your head and putting it on paper, right?
Yeah, I love that. I think that's great.
So that's something that made me think is sometimes when we just don't know how to interact with the world around us, like go outside or participate in something new, try new things. That I think that right now we're experiencing like a loneliness and anxiety epidemic, and I've seen that in myself and in a lot of my peers. We're really scared or fearful to put ourselves out there and do new things that take us outside of the world of our phones and put us somewhere else. So that's why it makes me so happy to see people coming out to events that I do with as Miss Provo and putting themselves out there and getting interested in new causes. So I guess what I would say is I just want them all to do something, you know, learn how to be okay without your phone. Cause I mean, I even feel the anxiety sometimes, and it's like, oh, I need something playing.
I know.
Right. I need something on in the background. I'm the most guilty of that. My brain just needs a lot of things happening all at once, but it's in like today I drove here and I was like, I'm going to drive in silence. I'm not going to play any music. I'm just going to like to prepare for this, obviously, but just to experience the silence and not be so device dependent. So that's what I would say is find your fire elsewhere and connect with the real world around you and the people around you rather than your phone.
Very well said. I love that. So you have an event today, right?
Yes.
What are you doing today?
So something really awesome that I get to do as Miss Provo is work with Mayor Kafusi, who is the first female mayor of Provo. She's fantastic. She is a goer and a doer and so inspiring to me.
Right, yeah.
So I get to go to an event with her and her assistant and my sister queen, we call it. She's Miss Freedom Festival Lilia. It's a new title that Miss Provo is doing. And it's the Epic Regional Sports Park opening.
Okay.
So there's this huge sports park that is opening in Provo.
Very cool.
And so I get to go kind of and be at that event and just be present.
Awesome.
So that's what I get to go and do.
Yeah, good for you. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, man, you really are an amazing person. I love the way you carry yourself. I love your insight, your awareness.
Thank you.
I love that the approach that you take in life. I love that you wear your faith on your sleeve.
Thank you.
It's amazing. You really are a great example to me and to so many people. I love what you're doing. We need more people like you. We need that person who's going to hug the crosswalk person.
Thank you.
The crossing guard. I guess that's a better way of saying that.
I've always just like crosswalk lady. That's who she is.
Crosswalk lady.
Crosswalk lady.
But that really touched me when you said that,
you.
because I think those little small things are big things, you know?
Right.
And I love that you do that.
Thank you. We could all follow suit with children, right? And they're just kindness and curiosity about the world and the people around them.
Be childlike.
Right.
Not childish,
but
childlike, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if there's someone listening to your voice right now and they're listening to us and they're struggling, and maybe specifically even some young girls that are just in a bad, dark place, what would you tell that person right now?
Just don't give up. Just keep moving, because it does get better. I have experienced a lot of difficult things growing up. There was times that I really didn't think that it would get better. And I know that when you're young, it feels that way. Even when you're older, sometimes it feels this way, like it's going to be like this forever. But I just want every listener to know that it gets better. So just keep going, keep moving. Ask for help. Never feel ashamed of asking for assistance on your way. And if you need a mentor, if you need help, reach out. There's a lot of resources that exist for you. So ask for help. Keep going, keep moving. Things will change. And I believe that anybody can create the life of their dreams if they just start working on it.
Yeah. Love it. Great advice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being on the show today.
Oh, thank you.
Seriously.
You are so inspiring, and I love Beliefcast, so it's an honor to be here, truly.
Yeah. No, thank you. Yeah, I really was excited for this one, and I know you came here on a Saturday, so thank you for spending some time on your Saturday with me, and you got this event today. Good luck with all that. I'm sure it'll be great.
Thank you.
Props to your family. I love them. I love you guys so much, and I can't wait for your family to listen to this.
Yes.
That's going to be cool, right?
I can't wait.
And for 500,000 other people to listen.
Oh, that's insane.
Let's do that, right?
Yes,
Let's get this out there. So,
incredible.
but yeah, thank you. You're amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, Charlee Sorensen, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Todd.
Yeah.
Pleasure.
You bet. Well, there you go, guys. I told you today was going to be great, man. That was kind of a deeper conversation that I was planning on. And I'm going to give you credit for that, because you sat in silence on the way up here. You got connected. I felt that when you walk into the room. I swear I did.
Thank you.
And so thank you for being prepared.
Of course.
That meant a lot. I felt it the moment you walked in.
I want it
So
to
guys,
be uplifting.
Yes,
right?
it really was.
Right.
Yeah. So guys, man, I'm the lucky one. I got to see this firsthand. But thanks for tuning in. If you have someone that's struggling, if you have a daughter or a son even who's you're having a hard time connecting with them, have them listen to this episode. It will open up a conversation for you, for them, and good things will come from it. Thank you guys. Thanks to my sponsors once again. I love you guys so much. Until next time, take care.
Thank you. Thank you so much.